Hi everybody, it's the Soap Man, and as promised, I'm getting back with you from some fragrance I tested. I think it's been about 6 weeks ago for the oldest. But anyway, I'm also working on a project, and that's why my soap lab is such a mess right now, and I'm actually giving it just a really good cleaning. Cleaned the carpet this morning. So anyway, there's a project I'm working on, and I'll show you here in just a minute. But back to the fragrance testing. So the first two I tested, the first was Orange Cranberry Spice from the Midwest Fragrance Company. Love this one. I had no performance issues. I was able to use it in the frosting. This is the soap I made with it. This is just a real thin sliver, the end piece. And even weeks later, it still has a really strong scent. So yes, I will definitely buy a big bottle of that. The second one I did in that same batch was Tobacco and Bay Leaf, also from the Midwest Fragrance Company. This is the thin end slice I cut off. Weeks later, it still has a very strong scent. It behaved exceptionally well. It gives plenty of time. I would definitely buy a big bottle of that. I also tested Pumpkin Perfect from Nature's Garden. This is the soap that I made with it. This was another one. I had no performance issues at all. Nature's Garden said it rices a little bit. I had no ricing whatsoever. And this was my favorite of the two Nature's Garden. I love this one. And it smells kind of like the spices that go into your pumpkin pie. I would definitely buy a big bottle of that. This was Pumpkin Caramel. I thought this was going to be my favorite because out of the bottle it just smells good enough you want to take a swig of it. It did thicken, and I was expecting it. It also darkened, so I only put it in the brown. I left the accents uncolored. So with the typical design that I used, the acceleration was okay. It has a good strong scent. It seems to have lost some of its notes, so even though it has a good strong scent, it does not smell as good as it does out of the bottle. That one, I don't know if I'd buy it or not. However, these three, no performance issues, a good strong scent. This one, minor performance issues, still a good strong scent, but it's not quite as good as it was out of the bottle. Okay. That's done as promised, and I didn't want to let you down and forget you on that. So I'm working on a project, and I just finished it this morning. And I've learned a lot of lessons from it, so here we go. This is the main reason my soap lab is such a mess, because I've been working on it forever. So I made my first gingerbread house out of soap. And it didn't go real well. The first time I made it, the panels, I think they dried out too quickly. They bowed. So I redid it again. Now the camera is not going to get explicit detail, but it's pretty rough. The piping around the windows is set up too fast. And I was using a really small tip, and I was not expecting it to set up that hard. I had a really hard. It's time for a new camera. This one's about to end up in the trash. Anyway, there's the back side. Here's the other side. Not bad by any means. Not ideal. And once again, the camera's not picking up detail. So I'm going to do another one, and I'll try to take lessons that I learned from this one and apply them to the next. I wasn't sure how much piping to use, because there's piping on the inside to give it structure. There's melt and pour on the inside to give it structure, but I had to use cold process to glue the roof panels on, because the melt and pour just kept running off. So anyway, I have a ton of extra soap over here because I didn't know how much piping to make up. However, these pink and white soaps aren't going to waste. I will shred those down, and I'll use them in confetti soap. But I'm going to make another one, and hopefully next Saturday I'll have another one up, and I'll have a little bit better version of this one. So see you then. Bye everybody.